Jeffrey.
How'd you find me?
Easy. I just followed your notes.
Guess I'm a loose leaf loser, huh?
You need a meat trapper keeper. It comes with trapper folders that trap papers in so they don't fall out. I've got a trapper for every subject, and the trapper keeper holds them all.
Neat.
Really neat. With this Velcro closure and this tough Duracell construction.
The Trapper and Trapper Keeper from Mead.
Whoa.
Think Mead makes a locker-sized trapper keeper?
So I see that when you buy the Macintosh 600.
Whoop. Hey guys. How is everyone tonight? I'm alive. After a week of being knocked on my ass with no live streams, I'm back. Yay. Thank you guys so much for all of your kind words on my posts. Ugh, the bangs are out of control already, guys. Let's knock them back here. But thank you so much for all your kind words. I super appreciate it. It was very kind of everybody. I'm assuming what was the worst flu I've had in years. So I don't get sick very often. Thank the Lord. But yeah, I think I've had like 3 bouts of flu in my life where it's just like knock you on your ass for a week. And this was the 3rd. So yay, I made it through. And I got a new video posted yesterday. Thank you guys who joined me on my live premiere for that one. That was kind of fun. Did that. That was kind of a new thing that I've done. So I might do that again in the future. Woo. Hello, camera and focus. What just happened? I hope you guys can see me because my camera just went out of focus and I don't know how to fix it. All right. Thank you guys so much for joining me. We're doing a Gen X a la carte tonight. Watching random Gen X videos. Okay, seriously. My camera is out of control. Let's try changing things up a little bit. I don't know how that happened. All right. So tonight we're doing Gen X a la carte. I hope this doesn't look as bad as it does on my monitor. So what's Gen X a la carte? Basically, in my social media feeds, when I'm scrolling through X or Facebook or YouTube, my Gen X life is out of focus. It truly is. I don't know what to do. I just have this little webcam. I need to like get an actual camera. So I'm sorry if it's really bad out of focus. Let's watch a video and I'll try to fix it while you watch it. So anyway, a la carte is basically just all of the stuff that I've saved off of my social media feeds for the last couple of weeks. And we're just going to watch some of these videos. They can be from the 70s, 80s, or 90s. They could star Gen Xer. They can be Gen X related in pop culture. So just kind of like anything that I find. I can't believe I'm so out of focus. This is awful. All right. Let's watch this guy buying a computer in 1995 while I try to fix this.
So I see that when you buy the Macintosh 600, you're just buying this right here, and you put stuff with it.
Absolutely.
Oh, I see. This is it here.
Comes with a 160 meg hard drive and 4 megabytes of memory. Has the extended
and a laser printer. She wants a laser printer.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
But the laser printer isn't Macintosh.
You can get a Macintosh laser printer, sure. It's called the Apple Laser Printer.
$1,900 just for this?
Uh-huh.
$1,900 just for this.
Comes with a mouse and keyboard.
And I got to buy the printer, the keyboard. Oh, it comes with a keyboard. And I got to buy the printer. And how much is the laser printer then?
I'm not 100% sure what store this is. It doesn't say. It just says computer store. So, yeah, probably like well, not before. No, I'm trying to look at this price tag. It's not a Best Buy. Oh, it comes with a keyboard. I know, right? It might be a Circuit City. Yeah, that's a good bet. Let's see if he ends up buying these computers with a keyboard.
They're around $7.99.
$7.99 for a laser.
Mm-hmm.
Is this
This
better?
is $19.99.
This is
Well,
better.
you know, it has a faster processor. It uses the 68030 chip running at 32 megahertz.
And you got to buy the thing to put the disc in separate too.
No, actually, it's right here, built in. This does come with a version. It's called the 600 CD, and it comes with a built-in CD-ROM.
So in other words, the guy's got to do a lot of thinking what he wants.
Ooh, a built-in CD-ROM. Yay!
Fortunately, somebody.
So you can buy speakers for it too.
And put them on, saved them to the hard drive.
You mean you can take a movie and he'll put it on the hard drive and you can show it back?
Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Yeah. There it is, right here.
You guys don't cut it all out.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
That is some high tech right there, guys. What was the first computer that your family bought and when? The first computer that my dad bought for us was in 1987, I believe, and it was an Apple IIc. And I remember we had a couple of games on it that we could play, but it was like this one where you had to like stack monkeys and then move them over to where you could get them out of the. I don't even remember what it was called. If my brother was here, he could tell you. But so yeah, we had our first was an 87 Apple IIc. Good times. Commodore Amiga, Apple IIgs. Nice. Nice. Hand me down Apple first generation. Such good stuff. I remember when I went to college in 96, you just had computer labs. So you would go to the computer lab on campus to write your papers, or if you needed any access to the internet or whatever. And we had computer rooms in our dorms, where they had one room for, you could go in and you can get computer access. And that was when I first discovered AOL chat rooms and surfing the internet. That was my first time really surfing the internet, was in the college dorms, in the computer room on the dorms. Happy belated 420 to everybody. So sorry I missed the 420 live stream. I'll have to save it all for next year. Super sad. But yeah, so I didn't get my first like personal computer until I think it was that I bought for myself after I graduated from college, which was in like 2001. It was a year I graduated in 2000. Like, I think I got it from the year later, 2001, 2002. Sounds about right. And I built my own. I think it was a Gateway. I think it was Gateway because I ordered like different pieces and parts and on the website and everything, and ordered one, and it cost like $1,200. Yes, I had a dot matrix printer on the. Well, no, I didn't. I never bought a dot matrix printer for myself. We had one at my house when I was growing up with the Apple, and then we had the dot matrix printers in the computer labs at high school. But then we got the fancy computer printers in college. So I have a few videos about early computers and internet from the 90s that we're gonna watch tonight. So this is what I mean by Gen X a la carte. Just a bunch of fun, like random videos that I think that people our age would be interested in watching. And if I'm wrong, if I pick a dud, then I pick a dud. But we'll have some fun in the meantime.
I'm thinking seriously about it. Only I'm going to also need an instructor to go along with it.
It wasn't a Gateway. It was a Dell. Now I remember. I went to the Dell store and built it. It was a Dell.
See how that works.
Absolutely. Internet shopping was a thing in the late 90s. I remember I remember Google and eBay before they were Google and eBay. My brother was always really kind of into the stuff before it got big back then. I really wish I would have listened to him, and invested accordingly, because he always seemed to know what was coming down the pipeline. But yeah, internet shopping. This is actually an interesting story behind this with the Beanie Baby boom. Of how they used the internet in the late 90s for that. But yeah, you could go on Amazon. Amazon was a bookstore from like 90s, like when I was in college in the late 90s. But I mean, I didn't buy a lot of stuff, but I bought a lot of stuff I started buying on eBay in like 98, 99.
It does work.
Now this here reminds me of a word processor. Now, was this CompUSA? That makes sense. But my roommate, my sophomore year of college, had an electronic word processor. We didn't have a computer in our dorm, but we had this word processor. It was very similar to this. It looked like a typewriter, but it had a little tiny screen on it, and you could type up your stuff, and you could, delete things and correct things on the screen, and then you would hit the print button, and then it would print it out. But it was very much like a typewriter. I was a word processor. So that's what we used to write papers when I was in college. If I didn't want to go to the computer lab, we'd use the word processor.
Presumably that's Gothic.
Now see, it's running a different test this time, I think.
Well, I'm sure if she wants to.
$399 for what was it?
$13.99 for the CPU, the keyboard, and the mouse.
Okay.
And then the monitor runs for about $384 as it is.
The Apple has been advertised as the most adaptable to kids and stuff.
It is.
As well
It's the
as
easiest, most user friendly.
It's basically the most user-friendly from the standpoint of what it can and cannot do. If you're going to be doing a lot of DOS, I don't recommend the Apple. You can go to an IBM. It's much better for you to stay with the system you're going to be using.
Right. But how about the kids?
See, my
The kids are very easily, they adapt.
oh sure,
Kids,
much easier than we do.
Yeah, we have kids that come in.
Yes, kids can adapt, right? So I love that, because we were the ones where it all came. We were the kids when it all came out. So we weren't digital natives. We were digital nomads, I guess you would call us. The first adapters.
And 4 or 5 years old, they've seen Macintosh at school. They jump onto an IBM and they find things quickly.
Yeah. So if it were you, which would you?
Well, first off,
go
I'd want to know
Macintosh
is what type of programs your husband using right now, or is he using a computer at all? From a business standpoint, the IBM still has more of a stronghold. Not necessarily from what it can do, but from what most people in society are using. They're mostly using the IBMs.
You're going to have to be compatible
Boy, IBM really dropped the ball, didn't they?
with other people that are doing the same thing.
And what you?
Yeah.
All right, there you go.
So I see.
Stop. Computer's out of control. All right, how does my focus look? Better. Now you can see that my hair needs to be brushed. I see you guys are talking about Oregon Trail. I actually have a video about Oregon Trail. Let's see if it's on this one. I have so many tied up or saved here. I can't remember if it was on this one. Oh, yeah. Well, okay. This is a long... We're not going to watch all of this. Let me bring it up. This is a really long video from the Gaming Historian. Came out a year ago. It's the story of the Oregon Trail, but not like, the actual Oregon Trail. But this is about the guys that created it and how it got into schools and things. We can watch a snippet of it. It's an hour and a half long, so we're obviously not going to be watching it all, but we can watch a little clip.
After talking to Don about what was done, I started imagining the things that I would do and started asking Don, and we had a lot of feedback. If I do this, is that going to work? How many turns? How long do you want this game to last? And then I asked Don, well, how long did it take the wagon trains usually to get where they were going? And so we discussed this, and I finally decided on that each turn would represent 2 weeks.
You'd have so much money, you could buy oxen and supplies and food, and you type in these numbers. And so I would say, today is March 24th, 1841 or something like that. And then depending on where you are in that 2-week period, certain things could happen to you.
My favorite part of the game was...
Did y'all have an Oregon Trail strategy, like how you budgeted and what you spent your money on? Or did you just go through and have fun and be silly? Let's see. Let's find another clip. Oh, the Apple II.
About the size of a small box. It does everything that huge computer out there on the floor does, except it does it in color. He was talking about the Apple II microcomputer. Dale LaFrenz.
In 1977, Apple introduced a new personal computer, often called...
Now, I was born in 1977, so this was before... I had an Apple IIc. Whatever happened to Apple? I know, what'd they really do? Where'd they go?
Microcomputers. It was aimed at the everyday consumer. They called it the Apple II. For around $1,200, a user could have a computer that fit on a desk in their very own home. And Apple wasn't alone. That same year, Commodore released the PET, while Tandy Radio Shack offered the TRS-80.
Does it freak anybody else out that all of the tech from our childhood is now in museums? They even have iPods in museums at this point. But it's just so weird. In the tech building at the University of Kansas, even when I was there in the late 90s, they already had a display in the front that had all of the different tech that they had at the school since the 60s or 70s. So they had all their different computers or things that they had or played with, stuff that I'd never seen before. So they even had it going on back then, but now it's like, ooh, a Zune. You bought a Zune? Nice. So, yeah, every day there's something else that makes me feel old. I try not to feel old, and I don't. It's just a weird feeling because, yeah, I've got 40, I'm 47. I've got 40 years of memories and life experience, but not counting the first few years that I don't remember, but for all intents and purposes, Lord willing, I got another 40. So it's yeah, I'm old, but I'm not I'm not a baby anymore. I'm not a stinking kid, which at this point, I kind of think kids are through 29. I'll start listening to you talk if you're in your 30s. I joke. I keyed. But it's weird because it's yeah, I kind of feel old because I have all these decades of experience and I'm thinking about things that happened 20, 30, 40 years ago. But yeah, got another 20, 30, 40 years ahead of me. So it's I don't want to feel old. It's just people that are older, are our age or older, technically don't emerge that much in pop culture. They're still around in business and politics, but our culture is so focused, especially with our media and things, on people in their 20s and 30s, that once you get out of that, and it's also focused on, just those things in life, that they're getting their career or getting married or dating or having kids. But then once you get past that point in life, like there's so little media or things or attention that is focused on, well, what happens to you once you're past that stage in life? What about the next 40 years? Oh, I don't want arthritis. No, thank you. All right. So yeah, check out this. It's called The Story of the Oregon Trail. It's on the Gaming Historian channel. It's really, really good. Hour and a half documentary about how the game was created. We can watch a little bit of watch the most replayed segment.
The home market version. And then we started getting letters from teachers saying how much they loved it and how much they liked playing it on their own when the students weren't around. By that point, I realized, okay, this is a big hit. This is going very well.
But for Philip Bouchard,
that right there is an Apple IIc. That's exactly what our keyboard looked like. We're all getting to be like Murtaugh. Too old for this shit.
the greatest compliment didn't come from the press or teachers. It came from his family.
Well, not long after the game came out in 1985, we drove down to Georgia to see my dad, my sister, my siblings. And I brought with me an Apple II computer. And I brought this newly released Oregon Trail game. I set up the Apple II computer, and I spent a few minutes showing it to my family. I thought, look at this cool new game we did. Now, to my surprise, my dad decided he wanted to play it.
Ooh, the old floppy disks.
And he didn't make it Oregon on the first try, so he tried again. Once he got to Oregon, he saw that there was a high score list, and that he was near the bottom of the high score list. Well, my dad was always very competitive, so he said, well, I have to get higher on this list. So during this week that we were visiting, I hardly saw my dad. He was all the time on the Apple II computer.
Seeing this Apple II is like bringing back tons of memories. Jessica, what I do remember was when the guy was talking about it, he said that the huge computer with all its wires and lights and everything had less computing power than your average smartphone. Yeah. Most any computer from all of it. Yeah, our smartphone could have conducted the moon landing.
Playing Oregon Trail over and over. And finally, just before it was time to go back, he said, all right, I've done it. I'm the highest name on the list now. I've beaten Stephen Meek. You can take your Apple II computer back now. And to the best of my knowledge, that is the only time my dad ever played a computer game. But
that's cute. That's cute. All right. Up next in our Gen X a la carte videos. The new Pee Wee Herman documentary is coming out that he made before Paul Rubens made before he died. If you guys haven't seen the trailer, we're gonna watch it now because I was a huge Pee Wee Herman fan, and this looks really, really good. Cowboy Curtis, y'all. Cowboy Curtis. The first time I ever saw Pee Wee was when they did the HBO, his HBO show, the Pee Wee Herman show. It was like very adult oriented. It had very adult themes, but I totally missed it because I just liked the guy on the stage in his funny suit. No, he's not still alive. Paul Rubens passed away from cancer about 18 months ago, I'd say 2 years, somewhere in there. Oh my God, I miss him so much. That made me cry. Doesn't it look really good? Yeah. HBO Max, it comes out in a month. So, but wow. He was just such a big part of my childhood. Like such a big part of my childhood. And so that's really interesting that he sat down for these interviews and doing all this knowing he was going to die soon. So, yeah, so if you guys didn't know that was coming out, there you go. There you have it, and there you are. Oh, teared up. Yes, he got caught doing something. Now, okay, this became a topic of conversation in the comment section of my video. You don't remember these shows unless you're Gen X. The most recent one that I put out that had Pee Wee's Playhouse on it. And people were like, he lost his show because of that incident and in the theater, or people thought he had done something with kids, or like it was complete and total misinformation in these comments. So I wanted to clear that up. Paul Reubens left Pee-wee's Playhouse. He stopped it in 1990. They asked him he did 5 seasons. They asked him to come back for a 6th. He declined in the summer of 1990. They aired the last episode in like October or November of 1990. He declined to do it because he was burnt out and he wanted to take a break. A year later, in 1991, he got caught in an adult movie theater. And he was not with a child. He was not with whatever. But he did not, Pee-wee's Playhouse did not get canceled because of that incident. He had already left the show. It was a year later. And actually, I have a video about his first public appearance after that happened. Let me see if I think I kept it. If I can find it real fast. But yeah, I mean, you know, he shouldn't have. It was a weird situation at the time. I don't know the history behind why that particular theater and him were targeted, but he wasn't doing anything with kids, and he didn't lose his show because of it. He had already left the show. Where is it? I know I kept this. Because his first public appearance after his arrest was at the, I think it was at the 1992 MTV Movie Awards, or the VMAs, Video Music Awards. I'm so mad that I don't have this ready. I'll try to find it while we're watching other stuff, but let's see. Maybe it's on the other one. I'm going to find this. But yeah, so I love me some Pee-wee. I don't want to be like totally silent during this live stream. And that comes out in a month, but I wanted to clear that up because I had seen a lot of comments on my video saying things that weren't true. Yeah, exactly. You got it. Heard any good jokes lately? That's what it was. Let's see. I'm going to just bring it up. Pee-wee first appearance after arrest. Here it is. Hold on. Share screen.
I think the real highlight of the show actually occurred right at the beginning when a man whose career was almost ruined by an army of hypocrites in a small town in Florida that apparently pays its police force to sit in porno theaters all day, appeared here by surprise. He was Pee-wee Herman.
Thank you very much. Heard any good jokes lately? What was that one? Oh, so funny I forgot to laugh. Thank you very much. That really means a lot to me. Thank you. Thank you. All right, okay, shut up. Now, I just have one thing that I'd like to say to all of you out here and to everyone in the nation, and that is, welcome to the 1991 MTV Video Music Awards!
Pee-wee Herman, a really talented guy.
Yes, I love that so much. So much love in that crowd. And it's so amazing how important he was to so many people our age, because when he came back in, like, I guess it was like 2015, 2016. I don't know. He did another show in New York maybe 10, 12 years ago. And like everybody, I mean, he was just, it was on Netflix. And man, I mean, people 30, 40 years old were just in the crowd, just just losing their minds. He was so loved. So, anyways, and oh yeah, speaking of Kurt Loder, the guy that brought us all the news on MTV, our whole childhood, he turns 80 years old next week, guys. I know. For a future live stream, we're going to do MTV personalities and talk about like Kurt Loder, Tabitha Soren, the OGs, all of Martha Quinn and all of them. So we're gonna do an MTV personality night and go back and watch some of their old stuff, talk about where they are now. Adam Curry, who I had a massive crush on, ended up being like one of the creators of podcasting. He's amazing, and he's on Joe Rogan every once in a while to talk about it, but loved it. Kennedy, yeah. Yes, he was. I swear to God, Kurt Loder, told me about Tupac and Biggie dying. Brian Henniger, how's it going? The Burt Newton Show, Aussie TV royalty. I've never heard of that. $2, thank you so much. Now I'm going to look into what that is. Oh, speaking of super chats, I have a goal over the next about hour or so. If I can get 10 super chats, the person with the highest super chat dollar amount will get to pick the topic of an upcoming live stream. Yay! I have thought about doing a video about the all-new Mickey Mouse Club simply because of all of the Gen X stars. And there's Zennials and there's Gen Xers, but you have, Ryan Gosling, Kerry Russell, Britney Spears, Justin Timberlake, JC Chasez, Christina Aguilera. So yeah, I've thought about it. I just haven't. It's on the list. I probably have a list of like 200 video topics that are all in some form of script writing or clips have been pulled or whatever. But so yeah, you still want a Stoner Films video? Well, I was sick that night. I was just gonna wait for next year, but maybe I'll go ahead and do it. We'll just do it for fun, anyways. I was gonna do a tier list and learn how to do a tier list. So I'll get it to you soon. Let's see here. Thank you, Jessica. Member for a month. Woohoo! Yeah, Carson Daly, right? Yeah, there's so much stuff. There's so much stuff to go over. I can't keep up with it all. But that's good for my channel because I can just keep talking about stuff randomly every day for the next how many years. Yes, and I want to do like a video about MTV shows like Singled Out. I loved Singled Out. That was when I was in high school and college. Like, oh yeah, Baby Jessica, remember that? So yeah, good times. Good times are had by all. All right, up next in our Gen X a la carte video night. If I can get back to the... Guess what? Whoops.
Oregon Trail over and over.
Boy, I need to learn how to do this properly, do I not? I am going to play... Let's see here. Here is the Goonies turns 40 this month. I know. I know. So it's the 40th anniversary of the Goonies, and they were recently on a panel, and they've been doing some panel at a convention, and they've been doing some interviews. So I'm going to show you a interview with the cast of the Goonies on their 40th anniversary, and I'm going to go potty. Let's see. If I can get it up here. Here we go.
That's it, guys. What's that? 3 rocks out there.
Far from the Goondocks of Oregon, at a Washington, D.C. convention called Awesome Con.
Right back.
Goonies fans found their own treasure, the cast of their favorite movie adventure.
It's our time down here.
Sean Astin,
I cannot get sharp or if it's a big flat.
Carrie Green,
This was my dream, my wish.
Corey Feldman,
I feel like I'm babysitting, except I'm not getting paid.
and Martha Plimpton. Plus Joe Pantoliano and Robert Davi, the Fratelli brothers.
The motto is Goonies never say die. You guys still have this incredible bond, don't you?
We really were like a family, a big, dysfunctional, but loving family.
Goonies never say die.
The movie follows a band of friends in their perilous quest for a pirate stash so they can save their homes from a developer.
They don't make movies like this anymore.
What do you think it is about this movie that people just love so much after 40 years?
The real magic is the moral of the story. Because the moral of the story is it's a bunch of kids trying to save their families, trying to save their friendships, and try to keep their community strong.
Its life really came out of the advent of video rental and cable. And it resonated so much with kids because they could watch it over and over.
Oh my God.
Plus, there were memorable villains, the Fratelli family, led by the late Anne Ramsey.
You did have to be kind of mean to the kids.
Seeing all these wonderful talents blossoming and their creativity, it was just so much fun to terrorize them, of course.
I don't wear a hairpiece.
Joey and myself, we knew each other for years before Goonies, and we had that sibling rivalry already.
We hated each other's guts. That's when you see the movie.
Terror and love, like that scene in the caves when Carrie's character kisses Sean, but thinks she's kissing his older brother.
Yeah, I don't know where Josh Brolin is. Or well, there's a bunch of them that are missing here. There's more. We're gonna watch the panel as well. Oh my gosh, I got a $10 super chat from Jessica. Jessica, you spoil me. Can I request something? Short video made in the 2000s, but all about the 80s funny song. Maybe? Yes, of course. Request away. If it's Gen X related, it doesn't have to be made in the 80s or 90s or 70s or whatever. It can be something that's modern or from the 2000s that talks about Gen X topics. This is an a la carte. We can do whatever we want. Request away. And thank you for the $10 super chat. Yeah, Dead End Chunk are missing. I don't know why.
Misread the script, and I thought the kiss at the end was the same too. I thought I had stolen her from the brother. So when I'm looking at them kiss at the end, I was really bummed.
How do you feel now knowing this?
I know, I feel so terrible.
Earlier this year, much of the cast reunited to honor fellow Goonie, Ki-hee Kwan, who played Data.
That's what I said, booby traps.
That rekindled questions about a sequel. Days later, Warner Brothers confirmed a follow-up is in the works, with Steven Spielberg and Chris Columbus producing. No word on plot or cast.
They're doing it. Whether we're doing it or not is another story.
That's it.
But I can tell you for sure, Spielberg and Chris Columbus have a recipe and they're planning on something. We wish them well. And if they come to us, we'll consider it at that time.
After it came out, Steven Spielberg sent me a poster saying, I'm still a Goonie, how about you? He's wanted to make the sequel, and he's the sole reason it hasn't been made now because it hasn't been right. The fact that he is endorsing this next thing is why we know it's going to happen, and it's why it has every chance to be spectacular.
Sean Astin also told me that fans want a sequel, they've earned a sequel, and whether that sequel is good or bad, nothing could take away what they accomplished 40 years ago. What we do now.
Okay, no, I'm not sold on a sequel. I mean, it's got to be done like they did Cobra Kai. You know, like that's the kind of sequel. Those are the kind of sequels that I want. I don't want some dumb cash grab that's all about modern politics and modern crap. Yeah, see, we're all saying no sequel. Oh, Z-Man 420, $5. Thank you so much. These streams are a great time. Thank you. Your videos are great too. Goonies is the classic. It absolutely is. We're gonna watch their panel here in a second. Thank you so much, Z-Man. I appreciate ya. Yeah, I love to see when people on X are like, I'm old enough to remember that Sean is Samwise. It's like, dude, he's a Goonie. Oh, here we go. $200 from Jessica. Thank you. Rhett and Link in the 80s. That's your request. All right. Let's do it. All right. I'll have to pause this so we don't is this the one here on the top? The in the 80s song? Yeah, okay. I'll obviously have to pause it so we don't get copyright struck. Let's bring it up. Oh, let's do. There we go. That's an outfit. I love it. Yes, YouTube is 20 years old. I just turned 20 last week. I know, it's insane. Oh my God. Red is my age. I did not. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Let's see. Ready for History channel brings back so many memories. Yeah, you thought you forgot. I love Ready for History. That's a great, great channel. But yeah, there's something about this neon aesthetic here that they got going on. This is the 80s if you were in an MTV music video. Okay. Now, the very first camcorder that my dad was kind of like into early tech, not like big time, but he liked to buy new things back then. And we had a camcorder that, no lie, you had the camera, but then you had a VCR shoulder strapped, and the camera connected to this little. It was a VCR that was like, I mean, it was a decent size, but like, yeah. So you had to carry the camera, and then you had to shoulder strap the VCR to it and connect it, and that's how you recorded. And then that was the first one we got before we got one like this. It was giant and bulky. DeLorean. Not as much as I want the Volkswagen Rabbit from Can't Buy Me Love, but there's something that's pretty great about a DeLorean. Oh, my brother had these. Hold on. Well, we had the Simon. Hold on. Let's get to the racetracks. My brother had these racetracks, and they came in like little pieces of like, I guess they were like maybe a foot long or whatever, and you had to connect them all together. And we would find these racetrack pieces all over the house. So we had a Simon, we had a Light Bright. Yes, Light Bright. I loved my Light Bright. That's very similar to the boombox that I had after I had my little purplish bluish one that I posted about the other day on my channel, on my community page. But we also had one of these. That's very similar to the boombox that I had growing up. Does anybody have Betamax? My uncle had Betamax, and he went to the Navy. He went in the Navy and left his Betamax and his box of Betamax tapes for us. This was like 82 or 83. So we had Betamax for a while before my dad bought the VHS, the VCR. And then my first video game console, I think I talked about this in the last live stream. We got an Atari 5200. Everybody else in the 2600, we got the 52. And played a lot of Pac-Man and Q*bert and Frogger and Donkey Kong and oh god, so many different ones. But yeah, so much for that. I super appreciate that, Jessica. That was fun. Oh man, that's great. One red button and a joystick. That's what they'll have for us in nursing homes. You're not wrong. I'm really interested. I'm not like excited and ready for it, but it'd be interesting to see what Gen X nursing homes look like. or retirement homes. Oh man, that's good stuff. Oh yeah, Rubik's snakes. Yep, I remember the Rubik's snakes and the Rubik's cube. Absolutely. Let's see. What else do I got? Let's go to that Goonies panel. I got to figure out. I think I saved it on my personal YouTube. Just got to find it. Yep, here it is. This was at AwesomeCon 2025. Let me bring it up. Well, son of a nutcracker. Share screen. Let's do a bigger one. There we go. This is the 40th anniversary panel. Oh, it's the same people that we saw in the interview, so we don't get everybody.
Mother, and
We'll watch this for like a few minutes. We won't watch the whole thing unless you guys really, really want to.
my mother played my mother, and they really didn't talk to them about that until kind of that morning. Like, would you come do this? And my mother's never acted a day in her life, but she's so proud of her improvised line. When I said, can I take piano lessons? And she says, yes. And she's, so to this day, she tells her friends, watch the movie, and this is my line, yes. And she's very proud of that.
You didn't like the octopus joke.
It didn't make sense.
I
if you
hated
didn't
the
see
octopus joke. I didn't like anything that wasn't like, it went in the basement scene. I look at Brand and I go, Josh, and they left it in. I think they were all stoned out of their mind in Burbank when they were editing the film. And they're like, no, it's great. People will love it. It's funny.
I don't think that, Sean, I think the problem was they had so much footage of everybody yelling over each other that they kind of had to go with any clear moment of audio that they had, even if it was a wrong word.
Also, all those water machines, they were very noisy, so all of the dialogue was no good. So it's the only movie I worked on. We were doing ADR while we were still shooting the movie, because we had to revoice the entire movie.
Well, not only that, but Dick Donner had a habit of yelling and talking loudly during every scene, which is, a director does that, but usually
while you were acting.
Right, in the middle of the take,
I think that's about the best I've seen Corey Feldman look in a while. That poor guy's been through it. Been through it. All right, I need a drink refill. So I'm going to play this panel and I'll be right back. Corey looks like Michael Jackson and Johnny Bravo had a baby. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Oh my God. Yeah. Ever since he was fine until he started going through his Michael Jackson phase in the late 80s. And then he never looked back when it came to his style. Poor Corey. All right, guys, talk amongst yourselves. Watch this panel conversation, and I'm going to go get myself a drink. I'll be right back. And not a drink. Like, I don't drink alcohol. I'm just getting another Coke.
Hey, kid, move your big eyes. Come on, get over there. What are you doing?
Also, in the scene with you two, when you've got Chunk with the hand in the blender, and he's got the spoon, Dick is laughing really loud, and it's on the soundtrack.
Yeah, but you got to realize.
I noticed that too. Yeah.
Silent movies, the directors did that all the time. They would talk to the talent, say, "Go to the left."
Emphasis on silent.
Give me that. Well, it became part of the culture. He's always got to say some bullshit. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Instead of just going along with me, he did the same thing in the friggin' movie. This is what it is. I would say something nice, and he would turn it into this terrible thing. It just drove me nuts. And he's been doing it since I know him. That's it. brothers.
The good news is no love has been lost between the Fratelli brothers after all these years.
Amen.
We still love each other.
I think I picked the wrong seat.
Dick is was one of the sweetest, most loving, most hilarious, most gregarious, open, wonderful directors I think any of us have ever worked with. I mean, his office was always open. You know, I found myself very often during the day when I would, I don't know, get annoyed in the school trailer, had nothing to do. I would sort of wander into his office and just have a chat, sit there. He was really lovely. He was loud and funny, and he adored us, and we drove him crazy and made his life a living hell.
Richard Donner made some good movies. He made some good movies back in the day. All right, Jessica, yes, it is a Coke. There are no mixers or anything like that. Just putting it in my little glass. In my little mason jar glass. I'm very particular about how I drink my soda. I need a thick glass cup. Can't be like, you know, nothing paper, styrofoam, or plastic. I need a thick glass jar and a certain amount of ice. I'm very particular about this. All right. So yeah, Corey's been on a lot of reality shows. He was on The Surreal Life. I think he might have been on, was he on Celebrity Rehab? I don't remember. But Surreal Life, and then the two Coreys that he did with Corey Haim. There's also a TV movie on YouTube. Let me see if I can find this. They did a made-for-TV movie about the Coreys. And the two Coreys movie. Yeah, it's called A Tale. No, that's not right. Maybe it was A Tale of Two Coreys. Tale of Two Coreys. Yeah, it was a Lifetime movie. And I watched it here on YouTube like a week or two ago. T2 Corey's TV movie. It's called A Tale of Two Coreys. I guess you have to buy it now. But this is the movie.
Big dreams, bright lights, that's Hollywood.
Okay, so let me get this straight. Your name is Corey. My name is Corey. You're an actor. I'm an actor.
Two Coreys? Oh my god, am I even allowed to hang out? My name's not Corey.
Where did you learn to do that? Michael Jackson.
Ooh. You got Hollywood Squares later today.
Shows like that are for people at the end of their careers. You're just getting started.
I made a lot of really bad decisions for my career.
Let me let you in on a little secret about Hollywood. There's a girls' club, there's a boys' club.
Come on, man. Just close your eyes. Pretend I'm a girl.
You want to be in the boys' club, don't you?
I guess. Take it easy, man.
Can't believe I'm doing coke with Matt.
Oh! What am I looking at here? Huh? What is this?
You continue down this road, you're gonna throw it all away.
Are you high? Now, I thought I was the bad one. You're fired. Fired?
Yeah, man, maybe we shouldn't work together anymore.
Just when you get it all, it's much better falling Hollywood.
Can we just talk?
Let's talk about how you let me get raped by a guy that you used to hang out with.
Julie, come on.
We need a doctor here.
There you go. A Tale of Two Cores is available on YouTube. Jessica, thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I super appreciate it. Go get some rest. I'll be back on Tuesday. We can hang out then. Let's see. What are we? Oh, Tuesday night, Gobbledygook won the super chat contest last time, and she has requested 80s and 90s Nickelodeon shows. So that's what we're gonna talk about on Tuesday night. Oh, more Gen X videos a la carte. Let's see. Get to my playlist. Let's see. What do I want to show you? So many things to show. How about, well, no, not that one. Oh, this is an interview with Mark Paul Gosselaar, where he talks about his role as Zach Morris on Saved by the Bell.
When you get off Saved by the Bell, it does seem like you've moved into darker characters.
Zach Morris wasn't dark. I think he was extremely dark. I think the colors of the show hypnotized you into thinking that he wasn't an awful character.
Ooh, say more.
He was a shithead. Yeah. He really was. Cheers.
Cheers.
Prost.
Mark Paul Gosselaar. We're in Lodi, Rockefeller Plaza.
Yeah.
What do we got?
This is my go-to drink. This would be a Johnny Walker Black. It's like a perfect
whiskey.
Perfect little drink.
I love it. You're an actor. You're right now in the NBC show Found. People probably know you for another show.
Yeah.
Saved by the Bell.
Another NBC show.
Another NBC show.
Full circled with my family, yeah.
Right. Saved by the Bell, you were Zach.
Yeah.
Will the prettiest girls in school please report to the principal's office immediately for some chips and dip?
Does it bother you that people know you for that? Do they still stop you on the street?
There's always this conception that you would be upset of your previous work. I think the only time you're upset about it is if that's all you're known for, or if it's hindering you from getting a job.
Yeah.
And that maybe happened very, very early on in my career.
Right after Saved by the Bell?
Yeah, I'd walk into the real.
What was your childhood like? Because I read that it was like 4 years old. Somebody goes, hey, this kid should be a model.
Yeah. My mother's friend was a model, and it's a typical thing. Your kid's cute. You know, he's very charismatic. He's good in photos. You should be a model. My mom has no idea what that means, and neither do we.
You're so young, you probably don't even really get what you're doing at that point.
I had fun. It was just something I did after school.
You were on like every 80s show.
I was.
Charles in Charge?
Charles in Charge.
Yes.
What's your major?
Education, thank you.
Primary or secondary?
Secondary, thank you.
Well, college isn't artwork, is it? I mean, don't you have fun?
And then I auditioned. I went to a Marine Military Academy the summer before I got Saved by the Bell. And that's where I was going to go to high school in Harlingen, Texas.
And you would have ended up in the Marines.
Oh, and I would have been happy doing that because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to fly helicopters for the Marines.
But instead, you get the job on Saved by the Bell.
That's
changes everything.
Here we are.
That's crazy. It's amazing how one decision that your mom makes changes your entire life. He should do some modeling.
Did you go to an actual high school?
I went to an actual high school, but I was sort of a ghost. I went to the high school, but most of the time I was on set.
Yeah.
So the teachers would give me work with the tutors, and I didn't have the normal high school experience because after Saved by the Bell, maybe we would do 13 episodes, we would wrap, and no one would tell us if we were picked up. And we would just go back to our normal schools. I'd say goodbye to my castmates.
Like you didn't know if it was going to keep going or not. You'd say goodbye.
We'd say goodbye. And we'd have a wrap party. We'd say, well, I guess this is it. And I would go back to my school. The other kids would go back to their school. And so I just was like this ghost in my regular school, and nobody really cared. It was.
That'd be really weird to be in high school or be that age and be working like this. So you don't have a normal childhood, but you're trying to portray kind of a normal childhood on TV, but they don't actually get it. That'd be really, really weird. Yep. Good morning, Miss Bliss. I'm going to be doing a video in the future about TV shows that had weird pilots that don't look anything like the actual series, and I'm going to be using Saved by the Bell and Miss Bliss in that video.
Wasn't the time of social media.
Yeah.
Wasn't the time of wanting to have fame in any way. It was actually looked down upon that I was on television. I was an actor.
Where you lived, like people were like,
yeah, it wasn't like the thing. If I had played football, if I had played baseball, like that would have been way cool. I thought those people were
you
cool.
played a cool character. Like
That
Zach's
was
character
my
was
interpretation of the people that I was surrounded by. My classmates in real life. I was pulling from them.
You weren't the cool kid.
No, not at all.
Why did it do so well?
Still, to this day, I have no idea. No idea. And it wasn't until the show wrapped in '94, I thought, well, this is an industry I'm good at something. I'm sort of in it already, and it's so hard to even break into the industry. I think I'll stick with it.
You decided not to go to college.
I decided not to go to college and continue with acting.
Now you have kids who are college age.
Yeah.
Do you reflect back on that? Like
That hurts my brain that Zach Morris has kids that are college age. However, I will say that there is an opportunity if Hollywood really wanted to take it in the TV realm. I mean, if we're going to be doing all these reboots and reimaginings and sequels and things, you could take a lot of the guys that were really popular in the 80s and 90s, like Zach Morris, James Vanderbeek, Joshua Jackson, all of these guys that were in these big teen shows back in the 90s that are all now grown and have kids of their own. You could turn them into the new version of TV dads, and they could have their own shows as TV dads. I know they rebooted Saved by the Bell. That was a mess as far as I'm concerned. But if you did it right, you could bring a lot of these guys back that are now dads in their 40s and 50s and do a whole new slew of shows with these guys as adults. It'd be amazing. Yeah, the Saved by the Bell reboot was awful.
Do you think maybe?
Obviously, you'd have to do it correctly. If we could go back into a classic sitcom era.
Like, do you ever think I should have gone to college? Or
I wouldn't mind had I had a higher education. And there's still part of me that has a romantic sort of vision of like going
college experience.
Yeah, or not even the college experience. Just.
It wouldn't even have to be a reboot of Saved by the Bell or Dawson's Creek or anything. But just like you could use these guys that are now that we all knew as young guys on 80s and 90s TV, and you could make them into the TV dads of today. That's just, I think about weird things like that. Yeah, they have to be executed in the right way for all these reboots. That's why I'm always really big on Cobra Kai, because that's my example of like a perfect reboot, sequel, whatever you want to call it, of a beloved property. Kind of like Fuller House, yeah. That makes, just not as cheesy and silly, but yeah. This interview is from about a month ago, if you're wanting to know how old this is. Yeah, Cobra Kai nailed it. Yeah, like Tim Allen has done all of his dad shows, but like it's time for Gen X dads on TV, right? Yeah, this interview was from a month ago, or it was at least posted a month ago. It was on MSNBC.
Putting my time and effort into something. You're
a dad of 4.
I am.
Yeah, I don't know if everybody knows that.
They don't know a lot of things about me.
He's got 4 kids. See, Mark Paul Gosselaar has 4 kids. James Vanderbeek has like 6 kids.
Well, I'm going to ask a lot.
Which is by design. I'm not on social. I keep a lot of things private, and I love what I do. I love going into the industry. I love playing the characters and I love the business aspect, but it doesn't define us. I feel like at home, we're just a normal family.
Look at that gorgeous family. I mean, seriously. What a beautiful family. Yeah, the Bud Bundy show. Sorry, overpull. Yeah, you could have David Faustino. You could have Corin Nemec. You could have Mark-Paul Gosselaar, James Vanderbeek. I'm telling you. You could have a whole new era of TV dads with all of the guys that we grew up with on shows in the 80s and 90s.
And dad has this job, mom has this job.
Yeah.
Kids have this in school.
When I look at your resume, your bio, it's a lot of different things. Yeah. You went from this to this to this to this.
That's Mr. Dad to you. The person who took a chance on me and I think propelled me into another level would have been Stephen Bochco. He was a producer, writer, just a brilliant showrunner. I auditioned for him, and
this would actually be really, really interesting if it was executed properly. Divorced with Children and you could do it with David Faustino. It would be fantastic. Of course, we wouldn't be able to get Christina Applegate, God bless her. But yeah, you could do it. Yeah, it would be a fun sitcom. Like you could do it in so many different ways. Gemini, you got 4 kids? That's awesome. I was yeah, that's the thing of this. That's the gimmick of this show is they sit with an actor and drink alcohol while they interview them. But yeah, I wish I would have had kids. I was the dummy that was all about career in my 20s and thought, oh, I'll have time to do the whole marriage and kids thing later. And no, I didn't. So I'm jealous people that have kids now, but you know, I have accepted my place in society.
I knew I wasn't going to get it because they already offered the role to somebody that I knew. And afterwards he says, you know what, you're a really good actor. And I thought, oh, great.
Nice to hear from him.
It's nice to hear. I'd rather hear I have the job. Right?
Yes.
Or 2 weeks later, he called my team and offered me a role on NYPD Blue.
Just can't go around feeling the way I'm feeling.
Never auditioned for it.
NYPD Blue for what, a few years?
4 seasons.
4 seasons.
4 seasons. The show everyone was saying it was nearing the end when I got on. I really didn't care. I just wanted to be a part of the show. It was amazing.
Let's talk about.
Yeah, I guess you could reboot Cosby and just say Bill died. But how about this, guys? I'm gonna make a big ask of CBS or ABC or whoever wants to do it. But Family Matters did not get a finale. They thought they were going to be back for another season, so the story was never wrapped up on Family Matters. You could do a show now with Laura and Urkel as the parents. You could do a Family Matters now with Laura and Steve Urkel. I'm just saying. And if it was done right, it would be awesome.
What you're doing now, and how did Found with NBC come about?
You don't disappoint. When there was talks of me possibly playing a character on the show, I read it, and then I thought, you want me to play that role?
You play a guy who kidnapped a child.
I had a conversation with the showrunner, NK, and I asked her immediately, is there someone that while you were writing this that you used as a
like a guidepost? Yeah.
And she said Ted Bundy. I thought, okay, I was familiar with that. There was a lot of documentaries about Ted at that point. So I went back and rewatched them. And then I understood, Ted was a charming, not bad looking guy who would disarm a lot of his victims.
It does seem like you've moved into darker characters sometimes.
Zach Morris wasn't dark. I think he was extremely dark. I think the colors of the show hypnotized you into thinking that he wasn't an awful character.
Ooh, say more.
Well, have you never seen Zach Morris's Trash?
Zach Morris is trash.
If you guys have not watched the Zach Morris's Trash series here on YouTube on Funny or Die, like as soon as this live stream's over, pull it up and watch them. They will have you crying, laughing. Like my face hurt and my stomach hurt. It's so funny. We might have to watch one of the episodes here when this is over.
It's Marry Your Classmate week at Bayside.
It's brilliant. If you're a fan of the show, it's a must watch.
Right, and it's all about how
dark Zach Morris was, because he was a shithead. He really was. I never played him like that, and I'm not playing my current character. I've never played any of the bad characters. Bad, you know what I mean? It's you don't go into it saying, "Oh, I'm going to play a twirly mustache villain."
Are you drawn to more complex roles?
It's easier for me to do drama than it is to do comedy. I really have a hard time doing comedy.
Can we do?
There you go. I guess we can watch the last minute rapid fire questions.
Do a lightning round?
Yeah.
Okay, quick answers.
Yeah.
Zach Morris's brick phone or modern day cell phone?
Neither. I wish I could throw them both away.
If you weren't acting, what would you be doing?
If I were to have a higher education, I'd want to pass the bar in some way.
And be a lawyer.
Correct.
What's one 90s trend that should make a comeback?
90s trend that should make a comeback, the rolled up jeans. Remember at the bottom, you like have to fold it over and then roll it out. We'll make it a comeback.
Fold over and roll up your jeans, baby. That was all the rage during my junior high years. Okay, we'll watch Zach Morris's Trash. I've never seen Wax On Fuck Off. That sounds great. I'm gonna have to check out that one. Yes, there was a video that made Daniel LaRusso the bad guy, and I actually did a video on it. And it is in the members only section of my channel. It's one of the very first videos I ever made about the importance of school bullies and the importance of the importance of 80s movie bullies in culture. And I talked about that video and even showed a part of it. We can watch that too.
Why do you think Zach Morris became this 90s icon?
I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that out. It's still on. And it's still in reruns, and people can just find security and safety in watching it because it brings them back to maybe it's a simpler, maybe it's a better time and nostalgic.
Mark Paul Gosselaar, thank you.
Thank you.
This was a really great interview. I really, really liked that. All right, I'll bring up some Zach Morris's Trash. Zach Morris's Trash. The question is, which episode do we want to watch? I mean, we can't watch the 20-minute ones, although marathon ones. Yeah, they're like little 3-minute clips. Let's do the time Zach Morris stole $5,000 from the mafia to scalp a U2 ticket. The time Zach Morris dated Slater's kid sister. Let's see. Let's do the time Zach Morris covered up a death. We'll go with that one.
Zach Morris.
Oh.
Zach Morris is trash.
Oh no, never mind. We're doing the time Zach Morris was a domestic abuser. All right, here's an episode of Zach Morris's Trash. Obviously, I will have to pause it to avoid copyright strikes. This is from Funny or Die. And there's a whole playlist. There's like 40, 50 videos on this. It's so funny.
It's Marry Your Classmate Week at Bayside, a thing every school does. Zach's overjoyed about his academically arranged marriage to Kelly and plotting his imminent assault. Jesse declares no woman is a man's property. Zach declares Kelly his property. Zach tells everyone in the building he knows what sex is and plans to have it with his fake school wife. Jesse doesn't want to sacrifice a career for marriage. Zach will make that sacrifice, so Kelly can work while he does Jack Diddley. Kelly asks what Zach...
I wish I could write like this. I'm so jealous of writers that have this kind of like fun takes when they can watch something and break it down and be so funny. I try to be funny in my video scripts and I try to make jokes. And then I'm like, oh, that's not going to land. I'll laugh at myself a lot, but I'm just not that witty. I wish I was.
While he does Jack Diddley, Kelly asks what Zach values in a relationship. Mouth stuff.
Died and gone to heaven.
We should all be so lucky. Belding assigns a scenario in which Kelly staggers home after a major car accident. Zach's response?
Who cares? Kiss me.
Belding requests, please don't whip it out in a classroom. So Zach explains Kelly's emotions to her, says shut up, then proceeds with Operation Whip It Out in a classroom. Belding assigns kids to the couples.
He's not my son. There must have been a mix-up at the hospital.
Zach Morris makes Woody Allen look like Father of the Year. Kelly, kindest soul, embraces her child. Zach scorns...
Oh, poor Screech. R.I.P. Dustin Diamond. That just so sad. Screech was like 3 or 4 years, I think 3 years younger than everybody else, so he was always left out of everything offset.
Kid is acting out, vandalizing school property over his unrequited love for Lisa. Slater steps up to be the man Zach isn't by raising his son. Slater, who is now Lisa's dad in this fully normal project, offers to help set up a date. Zach uses more class time to say he's chubbed up and then makes a move on Kelly. When his son wants attention, Zach uses physical force and violent threats. Kelly tries protecting Screech, but Zach continues his domestic abuse junior seminar.
Mom, call 911.
Don't stop there. The FBI and IRS should probably take a look at him too. Zach offers a disingenuous, I love you, that Screech sees right through. Great news! Kelly's pregnant! Zach's revolted and turns his back on his growing family. Kelly...
I want to know the people that wrote these episodes. Oh my God.
He doesn't want a man who hates his own children. She walks out on Zach. Kelly, please keep walking. Zach, who just pushed Kelly away, can't crack the case why she's leaving. Slater wants to support Jesse's career and is thrilled about having children.
Because I'm a good father.
How refreshing. Screech arrives to take Lisa to the movies, but she's not interested. Oh well, at least Slater tried. Except Screech reveals Slater only offered the date if Screech would do the community service of accelerating Zach and Kelly's inevitable split. Slater tells Belding he only did it to keep Kelly away from Ted Blondie, but while Slater has the cognizant...
Ted Blondie? See, I just wish I could come up with shit like that. That's funny.
Kelly away from Ted Blondie, but while Slater has the cognizance to reflect on what he could have done differently, Zach farts out a worthless sorry. Belding gives the gang a chance to finish their totally routine project at the diner with the magic waiter who never met a health code he couldn't make disappear. Slater comes to the mature conclusion that he and Jesse have fundamental differences that would prevent a happy union. Zach backpedals on having kids to dupe Kelly. He pretends to miss their son, then slams a lid on his fucking head. He says anything he thinks Kelly wants to hear to trap her. Then once again tells the principal he's very horny. Let's review. Zach Morris took a class project as a blank check for his carnal fantasies, and despite repeatedly stating he only cares about his wife for sex, was wholly uninterested in what sex produces. When the child he disavowed lashed out, poor Slater picked up the slack, then got in trouble for trying to save a mother and her child from an abusive household. And while Slater learned to be honest with yourself in a relationship, Zach learned to lie his ass off. Not a new lesson for Zach Morris. Zach Morris is trash.
Zach Morris is trash.
Oh my God, so good. So good.
Zach Morris is trash. Zach Morris.
Okay.
Zach
Morris.
Zach Morris is trash.
That wasn't a glitch. I literally pressed the wrong button 4 times because I'm old. Yes, please do. Binge them. It's so fun. Like, you will be crying laughing at some of them. They're so funny. Yeah, can watch them all night. They're funny. Let's see if there's one about, I don't know if they did a Zach Morris's trash about the caffeine pill episode. Let's find out. Surely they did. I mean, it's such an iconic episode. Let's see. But he wasn't really, well, yeah, he was trashing that one because he was making them do what was their group's name? Hot Sunday. He was making them be a music group. Let's see. Let's see. Yep. Here it is, guys.
Zach Morris is trash.
Stanford thing she was literally just talking about. They tell Zach they just sing to relieve stress and have fun, usually in the lockers. This gives Zach a great idea. Jessie is spreading herself too thin and gets a C on a quiz. Lisa and Kelly console her, telling her it's just a quiz and she can make it up on the mid.
I think that this was originally supposed to be like actual drugs. I think it was supposed to be coke, maybe, but they made him tone it all down. You traumatized a friend of yours this episode. Yep, caffeine pills make Jessie excited.
Slater offers to help her study. Zach is ready to act on his great idea.
Get you recorded. You're going to the girls' locker room.
Yikes. Zach sends Screech undercover into the girls' locker room to trick the girls into singing into a concealed microphone. Slater is helping Jessie study. When Slater warns Jessie these pills are very strong and potentially dangerous. Jessie, overwhelmed by the pressures of school and her new music career, ignores his advice. Zach shows up the next day with big news. The record label loved the demo, but there are 3 other girl groups they're considering signing. Bodies. Jessie says she does.
Do you guys remember the video? Here's a message that I'm sending to you. Put your mind to it, go for it. I have really weird things in my head. I'm not gonna lie.
Doesn't have time because of her many academic commitments. Zach tells Jessie she can't let everyone down. Jessie succumbs to Zach's peer pressure, then takes more caffeine pills. The girls shoot an absolutely insane music video that takes up hours of valuable study time, with intricate choreography, multiple wardrobe changes, aerial acrobatics, and a whole lot of butts. It's mostly butts. Friends, her mom is taking her to counseling tomorrow because the pressure Zach put on her turned her into a drug addict with a psychotic mental breakdown. Let's review. Zach Morris saw his friends having fun and wanted to use it as a way to get rich. And when they wouldn't go along with it, he sent Screech into the girls' locker room to record them without their permission, then trampled all over Jessie's academic priorities and dreams of going to Stanford, with endless selfish distractions that pushed her to drug addiction, and ignored her cries for help and warning signs from her real friend until it was too late and she had a total mental and emotional collapse. All because he looked at his friends as a quick way to make some money. Zach Morris is trash.
Zach Morris is trash.
There you have it, and there you are. Yeah, we got to watch the Hot Sunday video. I'm going to pause it, but we're going to watch it. Let's just go shoot a music video in 1991. This is so much good stuff in this. The fact that I still remember the song is kind of making me a little worried about myself. Or maybe it's a good thing that I can remember the song. Can't remember what happened yesterday, but I can remember the words to this song. Like randomly become musical artists in like 3 or 4 episodes of this show. There was one where they had the band where they were Zach Attack, where it was like a dream that Zach has. No harmonies at all, right? It's all just completely unison. Same notes. Yeah, I think the Zach Attack were better than Hot Sunday. That's a good poll. That would be a good poll to put on who was better, Zach Attack or Hot Sunday. The amount of time it would take to put together a video like this would be like insane. Poor Jessie. She was just so completely spread thin. Oh yeah, I thought they were gonna give us the pause a little bit longer, but it ended on a still shot. Oh man. All right, I'll get off of this Saved by the Bell stuff. I didn't mean to go this hard into Saved by the Bell territory tonight, but you know, we just kind of go with it as we go and see what happens. Let's go back to my Gen X playlist. We're gonna watch The Last Day of High School 1996 from Nostalgic Vibes. I'm gonna play a minute of that while I go potty because I drank a lot of soda tonight. So Last Day of High School 1996 from the channel Nostalgic Vibes.
How old do I am right now?
they give it to us.
I went to Old County Camp. As an outstanding linebacker. I'm just too great for words. The school is really going to miss out on me next year. Yeah, I'm the best.
I love you, Theo.
This is my pal.
You Kunst. Hi, I have no life. Yeah.
For all of us run upstairs on film, we're not doing the whole Mission Impossible thing, and jump on Mr. Kardashian's desk in the office. We all have we're jumping over the counter in the main office, the middle counter, and we're jumping on Mr. Crow's desk. That's our mission. This tape goes up the start in 5 seconds. That's so sad, but those are all good. Okay. Let's go run into class. Let's go run into class. Yeah, let's go big class.
We're doing a Mission Impossible because that movie just came out. 96. This was I graduated in 95, so this had been a year afterwards, but
Your mission to accept it. To run around Mr. Cook, going against class like an asshole. Get his reaction and follow us.
school was just a whole different world back then. Just a whole different world. Yeah, it's the last day of school in 1996. Whole different world.
What do you want?
Chips.
Look at those windows. Jeez, those blinds.
Well, I hope I'm being. That is, what's the question of the day? Where were you from?
Where will I from?
Okay.
That's a cute dress, I'm not gonna lie. I like seeing the hairstyles and what they're wearing.
Where is that from?
What's up, Mr. Bassick? 10 years from now, we're watching this at our reunion.
It's been great being with you, even Robbie Shapiro.
All right.
But the psychology award, I don't know.
They're paying me now. First, I have to pay them.
These guys have to take over for us.
That's right. Boo.
Oh my god.
Oh. And there's the Hebrew. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu. I don't know.
I don't know where this is from. Let me look at the comments. It just says Ridgefield Memorial High School. I'm not sure where that is. Anyway, that's kind of fun. I have so many more videos we can watch, so I'm gonna do a la carte live streams like this, like once a week. This will be maybe my normal Friday one, and then on Tuesdays we'll do the stuff where we have like a topic of certain types of things to watch. But I really like the a la carte because it's kind of fun. Just I see so much stuff in my social media feed that are like Gen X related, and I'm like, oh, I want to watch this with my people. I don't want to sit here and just watch it on my feed, right? So I'll just save it if I think it has anything to do with Gen X, and I'll save it for the a la carte live streams. Speaking of, let's go over to what I've saved on Facebook. Now, this really got me. This photo, did you guys see this? If Friends premiered in 2025, this would be the birth year of the main cast. So Phoebe would have been born in 94. Chandler would have been born in 2000. Rachel would have been born in 2000. Ross, 1997. Monica in 95. And Joey in 98. Like, that hurt my brain. Right? Yeah. Stuff like this is always better shared. Instead of just like seeing a post on Facebook by myself and just scrolling on past, I'm like, oh my God, I want to save this stuff and share it with my people, and we'll watch it together. That way you don't have to like be on Facebook or X to find all this stuff. You can just watch my live streams. So anyway, this really hurt my head. Yeah, so Friends would have premiered, because Friends premiered, for those of you that don't know, Friends premiered in 1994. I remember it very well. It was my senior year in high school. I remember talking about it the next day. It's like, what do we think of this show? Aw. Well, I'm not really, I don't really like do stuff on X to like, I don't create content for X. That's where I'm just kind of like in my personal little world where I'll comment on things, and every once in a while I'll share stuff. But I haven't really made an effort to gain followers. It's kind of become especially the last couple of weeks, it's just become a weird clickbaity site where people are just trying to get paid, and just the content on there is not as great as it could be. So, but thank you. Did you guys see that Alicia Silverstone is gonna be part of a new Clueless sequel series on Peacock? Again, to me this belongs in the 90s. It should stay in the 90s. Oh, as far as the Friends stuff goes, Phoebe was the oldest. Yeah, they were supposed to be in their mid to late 20s when the show started. Let's see. I've had 1, 2, 3, 4 super chats, so I got like 5 minutes left to get 6 more. It's not looking good, but that's okay. That's okay. I appreciate your guys' support so very much. I came across this video, and I was a huge Billy Joel fan in my childhood. My mom loved Billy Joel. My mom's a piano player, and so she always loved Billy Joel music. And he still tours, but this is from like 10 years ago. Anyway, so Billy Joel's one of my favorite songs of Billy Joel is The Longest Time. It has a great 4-part harmony. It just has an old school sound to it. And he did one of his concerts about 10 years ago. He was joined by Boyz II Men. So and instead of doing this little clip, I'm gonna bring up the actual video. I'm pretty sure I kept it on my Gen X. But probably not. is probably on my other page. It is Son of a Nutcracker. Hold on. I'm going to get it because I know exactly where it's at. There it is. Okay. So.
When you buy the Macintosh 600, you're just buying.
So if you love Boyz II Men or if you love Billy Joel, I'm actually obviously going to have to pause it, but you got to hear this.
This next song, I'm going to invite some guests. Philadelphia artists. Please welcome Boyz II Men.
Yeah, Billy Joel's an incredible pianist. Like an incredible pianist. I don't know why the volume on this is so low, so you might need to, I've tried to crank it up as much as I can, but you might have to crank up your volume to hear it.
Philly! Yeah. Home sweet home, baby.
We're going to do a song I haven't done for a very long time. So, is that the key? What key? All right, let's see if we can do this one. Go, baby.
This is so good.
For the longest time. For the longest.
If you said goodbye to me tonight, there would still be music left to write. What else could I do? I'm so inspired by
For the longest time.
Oh, this is so good. This is like one of my favorites. And to hear him sing it with Boyz II Men is just like, I can't even hardly handle it. I wish the volume was better.
I thought my innocence was gone. Now I know that happiness goes on. Where you found me, you put your arms around me. I've been there
For the longest time.
For the longest time. For the longest.
I'm that
Voice
you're hearing in the hall, and the greatest miracle of all is how I need you
And how you needed me to. I'm sorry, I want to sing. I can't help it. I cannot help it. I don't want to drown them out though. They're so good.
for the longest time. Maybe this won't last very long. You feel so right.
I could be wrong. Maybe I've been holding too hard.
I've come this far, and it's more than I hoped for. Who knows how much further we'll go on? Maybe I'll be sorry when you're gone.
My chances, I forgot how nice romance is. For the longest time,
I had second thoughts at the start. I said to myself, hold on to your heart. Now I
know the woman
that you are. You're
wonderful so far, and it's more than I hope for. All right, gotta pause it real quick because I don't want to get in too much trouble. This is my favorite part of the song, so here we go.
I don't
care what
consequence it brings.
I have been a fool for less things. I want you so bad. I think you know that I intend to hold you for the longest time. Yeah, I went from melody to harmony, baby. Oh, thank you, Tony. Oh, for the longest time. Whoa. Tell me you did not love that. Just absolutely love it. Oh, that just brings me joy. Brings me absolute joy. This is why YouTube is so great, in my opinion. So good. So good. All right. I used to have this. I still have it somewhere. My Electric Youth by Debbie Gibson. I just wanted to share that. Oh, somebody made a Gen X bingo card, and I need to figure out. I wanted to do play Gen X bingo or Gen X trivia on a future live stream. If you guys would be into watching or playing Gen X trivia, because I'm like a trivia nerd, and I will beat you. I will beat you all. I get really competitive. So that might be fun for a future live. Oh my God. I saw this the other day. Listen to this fan theory. Listen to this.
Al Powell is a rookie cop in New York. One day, he's tasked with escorting 4 scientists known as the Ghostbusters to the mayor's office. He overhears what Egon and the other Ghostbusters are explaining about paranormal activity. Being a nice, talkative young man, he keeps asking questions. He eventually gets the Twinkie explanation from Egon. He was also there to witness Gozer, the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, the near destruction of all life on Earth. Unable to think clearly, he accidentally shoots a 13-year-old boy because they thought the kid had a real gun. The shooting was investigated. He was found to have not done anything wrong, but it was time for a change of scenery. He transfers to LA, where he's forced to work a desk job while his work probation runs its course. We see him in Die Hard buying Twinkies. His knowledge of Twinkie ingredients and willingness to tell John McClane about it shows his obsession with the food since leaving New York, and Egon's explanation won't leave his brain. He's still not in a good place mentally. We start to see the cracks forming in his reality. He admits to the store clerk that Twinkies are for his pregnant wife, but this is just a made-up lie to himself to appear normal because he's not an everyday guy. There's not a wedding ring on his finger. He's beginning to build up an alternate reality in his mind because he tells John McClane the same thing. He even starts to hang on to the hope of forming a quick friendship with John. Unfortunately, the events that night at Nakatomi Plaza force Al into murdering again in the line of duty after almost being killed by terrorists. John moves on with his life, and the police chief takes all the credit for saving the day. This nightmare is at its peak for Al Powell, and he's admitted to a mental institution where he completely breaks down. To escape the pain, he creates an alternate reality in his head where he becomes Carl Winslow, a family man in Chicago as far away from the coast as possible. He's still a cop, but his duties never interfere with a solid, loving home life. He has a wife, 3 kids, a sister-in-law, a mother, all surrounding him, giving him support whenever he is safe. he is happy. However, the guilt of his real life is manifesting itself and bubbling underneath until it finally pushes its way into Al's dream world. A 13-year-old boy named Steve Urkel.
Oh my!
The very same boy that Al killed accidentally back in New York.
Oh no!
With nothing to offer but being obnoxious, interrupting Al's peaceful dream existence, Steve haunts him like an angry spirit, causing frustration. Carl's powerless. As each horrible torture befalls Carl and his family, his tormentor cries, "Did I do that?" Only to serve and mock Carl even more, because Carl did do that. He killed the boy. The harder Carl tries to suppress his guilt, the worse it becomes. It becomes so unbearable that his peaceful life turns into a horror flick, eventually giving him a heart attack and having his family disappear one by one. Carl's Winslow dream reality crumbles, leaving Al Powell alone in a straitjacket and padded room. And Al Powell is a rookie.
There you go. What'd you think of that? Oh, Brian. $2. Thank you so much. Did you know I was a Jeopardy champ, Robert? Yes. Brian is a Jeopardy champ, and he has requested me to do a video on like 80s contests and things like that, and I will do that. I haven't forgotten, Brian. I want you to know that. But let's watch. You sent me a link, I think, of your Jeopardy appearance. Can you send that to me on Facebook, or you can put it up here on the chat, Brian, and I'll play it so people can see that when you were on Jeopardy. we gotta give love to our members that are doing big things. We got a Jeopardy champ in the house. I love trivia and stuff. Like, I think we're gonna do some Gen X trivia in future live streams. I just think it'd be so much fun. There's games that I can get. But yeah, Brian, send me the link to your Jeopardy appearance, your final Jeopardy that you sent me. I don't have it. I don't have it brought up. So if you could just send that to me. There it is. Let me get over to here so I can copy and paste it. There. Whoop, hold on. Thank you, Brian. Let me bring it up. All right, this is member Brian killing it on Jeopardy.
The game comes down to Final Jeopardy, as it so often does, and our category today, novelists. Here's the clue. A 2012 book review noted subjects that sparked his ire: capital punishment, big tobacco, and the plight of the unjustly convicted. 30 seconds. Good luck.
Ooh, do you guys know what it is? Do you guys know what it is? I know what it is. This is a good one. There he is. Jokes about how you looked. Why? I think you look great. Nope, no asking Chat GPT, no asking Grok, no asking Google.
Amanda Bain Wysocki came into Final Jeopardy with $5,400. Let's see which novelist you wrote down. Who is Upton Sinclair?
Wrong.
Sorry, no. So you're going to lose 4,000 of that, dropping you down to 1,400. The champion, Crystal Zhao, was in second place with 11,600. Her response was, who is Lewis? We had Sinclair, now we have Lewis. I'm afraid that's not right either, though, Crystal.
Wrong.
You wagered 7,201. That'll drop you down to 4,000.
All right, here comes Brian. He's going to bring it home.
399. Brian Henniger had a strong comeback after a daily double miss. He had the lead with 13,800. He wrote down, who is John Grisham? Yes, that's correct. A reference to courtroom novels like The Chamber and Runaway Jury and The Confession. So you're going to add to your total $9,401. And as I believe is slowly dawning on you, you're a Jeopardy champion, $23,201. You can't believe it. You'll be playing again tomorrow, and I hope we see you as well.
So your reaction got an award? It's a great reaction. Let's watch it again. By the way, your mustache game is strong in this clip.
Just slowly dawning on you, you're a Jeopardy champion, $23,201.
Way to go, Brian! Oh, I love it. Thank you so much for sending me the clip. But yeah, we'll do a 80s contests and games and things like that. I'll have a video about that in the near future. I have not forgotten. Yeah, what'd you spend your money on, Brian? We all want to know. Oh, Brian's been a great supporter of my channel from the very beginning. He's one of my OGs, and I really, really appreciate it. So thank you so much, Brian. Oh, yay, good times. Spent it on hookers and cocaine. Well, I mean, duh. Paid off my car, new phone and laptop, and a trip to London. Hey, that's smart. That's smart. You did well. Very nice. Oh, man. Good times. Oh, you guys mentioned baby Jessica a while ago. Here she is all grown up. This was posted by Kelly Mano, who has a really great Gen X content on Facebook and Instagram. So there's what baby Jessica looks like now, up there, right there on the top right. Let's see. Here's a game. Ancient artifacts that'll confuse most millennials and everybody younger. Let's see if we can figure out what they are. All right, top left. That, my friends, is a cigarette lighter from your car. I wish they still had these. Middle there on the top is a pull tab off the old cans. Then we got an 8-track up here on the top right. Next on the next row, that is a drive-in speaker. And then we got film, old school film for cameras. And then we got the manual window. The window, what do you call it? The knob. Had to really get that going, get those car windows down. Let's see, below the drive-in speaker, those were flash cubes, right? So yeah, you had the flash cubes and those old cameras. Then we got the tape measure. Is that really an ancient art? Is a tape measure an ancient artifact? Let's see. Oh, the credit card machine, the manual slides thing. Viewmaster reels. They've got the makeup mirror in the middle here. What's this thing of the Zenith thing right here on the bottom? I'm not 100% sure. Is that an old remote control? Is that an old TV remote? Yeah, it's an old TV remote. That's the first thing I thought of. But I wasn't 100% sure. Oh, seamstress tape measures may be a little bit more outdated. I guess so. I guess nobody sews anything anymore, right? Which is really sad. I really miss home ec. I really wish they'd teach people how to sew. $2 from Swift -1. Saw Revenge of the Sith in theaters today. How fun. I bet that was cool. Thank you for the $2. How was it? Was it just as good as you remember seeing it back in 2005 or whenever it came out? I guess our phones do measure things. The funny thing is, I would never think of that. I would never think to use my phone to measure anything. I still have tape measures and the the carpenter tape measures and things like that. We got nutcrackers here on the bottom left. It looks like I can't really tell what's on the very bottom here because the picture is cut off. But yeah, good times. A clicker. That's when they were called clickers. Electric skillet, is that what that is? Okay, I think I see it. Yeah, I see it. Electric skillet. Can you tell what's on the bottom right? I think it's too. I don't know. It's too obscured. Good stuff. Okay, that's enough there. Let's go over to X and see what I got saved over there. Here's a lot of Gen Xers in this clip. This is from Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back. From, I think this came out in what, 2000? 99?
3. Goodwill Hunting 2, hunting season, scene 16, take 5.
Do you remember Goodwill 2 hunting season? Goodwill Hunting 2 hunting season in Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back.
3. Goodwill Hunting 2, hunting season, scene 16, take 5.
Think about the paycheck. Okay.
Think about the paycheck.
So, action, Gus, or Jesus, Ben? I said I'm busy.
Gus Ben's hand over there counting cash. It came out in, just before 9/11. I figured that's about when it was, 2000, 2001. You were a theater employee back then? How fun. That was when it was fun. I worked at video stores. I never worked at theaters in high school and college. I always worked at video stores. I worked at Movie Gallery and at Family Video. Good times. That really helped my movie knowledge, though.
Yeah, I do remember the class. But frankly, I found it rather elementary.
I remember that class. It was just between recess and lunch. Are we going to have a problem? Again? I was still just hoping you might be able to give me a little insight into the southern colonies. See, Wood says...
What'd I say? What did I tell you? You'd be back in here regurgitating Gordon Wood. But you forgot about Vickers.
No, I just read Vickers, so I'm up on inherited wealth hunting. But you're no longer the angry, brilliant young mind you once were, just itching to vent your frustrations. No. You stopped hitting the books with a vengeance, and now I've read shit you haven't even heard about yet. Face facts, my friend. You're just no longer that good. Will hunting.
So stupid. Yeah, I'll be doing Voyage of the Mimi in an upcoming You Don't Remember These Shows Unless You're Gen X video. It's actually going to be in the next one. I think. It might be in the... I don't know. I need to see my list and how I got it all measured out. Let's see. I saw Kevin Smith doing an evening with show in Calgary. You got to go to see one? You were lucky. An enjoyable 4 hours, no intermission of everything he did. Including talking about Zach and Miri. Nice. Oh, that's so... He made DVDs called An Evening with Kevin Smith in the early 2000s, and I watched hours and hours and hours of that. That's where I heard him tell his Prince story, and that Prince story is so funny. So funny. I might be able to find that, and we can watch it in a future live stream. Let's see. I've been going for 2 hours. Holy hell. All right. We're going to watch a little bit more on X, and then we'll wrap it up. I have all the DVDs of the Evening With. I do not have any of those. I rented them, but I have all of his movies on VHS and some on DVD as well. At least all the View Askew universe. I don't have all of his like more recent stuff, but all of his stuff from the View Askew universe I have. I even have the reboot on DVD, which I kind of enjoyed. Not gonna lie. Did you guys see my most recent video that I posted yesterday about alternate endings and the Clerks alternate ending? Yeah, he is. He's such a great storyteller. Like I'll just ignore like what he's done the last few years and just focus on the View Askew universe and his evening with. It's so funny. He is a great storyteller.
Now, how do you like them apples?
I don't like the sound of them apples. Well, what are we gonna do?
Jackie,
Yeah.
it's hunting season.
Applesauce, bitch. Sorry to interrupt, sirs, but we've got a 10:07 on our hands.
Oh, Jesus, again, Ben?
No bullshit, because I wasn't with a hooker today. Ha ha!
Oh, when you were in Minnesota, you were near the Mallrats Mall and you never stopped to check it out. It's not there anymore. Eden Prairie Mall. I think that was Eden Prairie because it was near where my college roommate grew up. They actually, my roommate grew up in Minneapolis area in Wayzata. My college roommate did. And they filmed the movie Drop Dead Gorgeous at her high school or middle school. And so we would always watch Drop Dead Gorgeous and she would tell me all about the school, which is one of my favorite. If you haven't seen Drop Dead Gorgeous, you're missing out. It is hilarious. It was Eden Prairie? Okay. Oh, my memory's still going strong, guys. Here's Norm Macdonald from SNL Celebrity Jeopardy in 1999, one of my favorite sketches. I will have to pause this regularly because SNL are absolute mid-century Germans when it comes to this kind of stuff. So
I'd like to ask our
I'll be very careful with this one. You are correct, Higgy 04. This is the birth of Turd Ferguson. Yeah, they will get me for saying anything other than mid-century Germans. I got to be careful. But you got what I was talking about. November Alpha Zulu India. Mm-hmm. I think this is my favorite Daryl Hammond impression. Was when he did Connery. Honest, I think Norm Macdonald is my favorite comedian to ever live. It breaks my heart that he died so young. And you go back, his stuff holds up. I can watch him tell a 10-minute joke and just sit there in awe as he winds his way through it. He's so funny. So funny. It was to come up with these Jeopardy categories. It's so good. What a fun job. Let's figure out what we're gonna make the Celebrity Jeopardy categories. Mind you, this is after they fired Norm and he came back to the show later. He had the last laugh for sure. Oh my god. I don't know, like I love Letits Now. The Ape Tit is good. And then you have Therapists, which we all know what that turns into, but I don't want to say it on a live stream. But Ape Tit and Letits Now and Therapists are probably, or S Words. They did Swords from S Words. Yay! I told you they were mid-century Germans. No more SNL. Yep, I took the opportunity to take a pee break while the content police were bringing me back. And now back. Thanks guys for hanging out and waiting. SNL is about as bad as Disney. So that's why I avoid it, but every once in a while I give it a try and this is what happens. So no more SNL. All right. I'm doing my next episode of 101 forgotten 90s movies or neglected 90s movies. I said SNL too many times. Anyways, I'm doing because I've done 1 through 31 on the list. Did I go off? Seriously? It's just me. Am I back? Am I back? Am I back? Holy crap. Yay! All right. I will not say those words. I will not bring up any of their content. Good Lord in heaven. Oh, oh man. Thanks guys for hanging out and holding on. Sometimes that's how we go. How it happens. Let's see. No, we're not talking about that specific cartoon either, JTR the serial killer. Putting in that word on the screen makes me nervous. Am I still on? Or did they take me off again? Hopefully I'm still on. Oh. Well, did you know that 33 years ago this week, the series finale of Growing Pains aired? Acapella version of even though I love the original version, it's awesome, but I love this acapella version, and I used it in my very special episode video about this the Sandy episode of Growing Pains. So if you have not seen my video about, it's called when you're blindsided by an 80s sitcom, that's the name of the video. It's about the Sandy Matthew Perry episodes of Growing Pains, and I use this version for the video. I just think it's so beautiful. Oh man. All right, guys. We'll give it one more try. Let's get to my bookmarks. We will stay away from the copyrighted content. Yeah, I guess that's probably true. If you get dinged once, they stay on you for a while to make sure you don't cross another line. Yeah. I know. It sucks. This is bullshit. Now what I was going to show you guys, I'm not going to show you because now I'm nervous. Commercials I know are okay. Let's bring that up because I have a few of those, and then we'll call it a night. Hold on. Let's bring it up. Boop.
Time to make the donuts. Dunkin' Donuts are always fresh. I made the donuts. We make them at least twice every day. Time to make the donuts. Not a few kinds, like supermarket. Hey, donuts. Time to make the donuts.
Did they take me off again? All right. They don't want me to show anything. Yes. Right? I mean, this is dumb. I know that donut commercial is not copyrighted. I know I can show it. As this shows right here, this used to be a proper country with kids posing with a cigarette mascot. Am I still on? I'm getting nervous. Okay. No, I'll show stuff, but I just gotta be very careful of what I show. But yeah, we used to be a proper country, right? Carol Burnett turned 92 this week. This is one of my favorite sketches from her. Am I gone again? Okay, I'm good. I used to love the Carol Burnett show. Yeah, this is classic. It's called Went with the Wind instead of Gone with the Wind, where she comes down she has the curtain rod on her shoulders. We once lived in a world where Ella Fitzgerald and Karen Carpenter sang together. Let's see what happens here. If I get cut off this time, we'll call it a night. Seriously? Am I here? I'm afraid to say anything. I'm afraid to say anything. I'm afraid to show anything. It's like I'm just gonna put myself on here and nobody back. Nobody, no video streams, no video, no videos, no nothing. Maybe, but I always clear up any claims that are made. I either cut the stuff in for the replay or I dispute it and win. So don't full screen stuff. Okay. Yeah, don't full screen. Maybe I can speed some things up. It's just so silly. It's just so dumb. I don't know why. All right. Oh, I'm back. But I think I'm just going to call it a night because it's been 2.5 hours and they've already cut me off for dumb crap. But I'm going to go ahead and say that's it. We'll regroup and be back here on Tuesday night at 7 o'clock. Good night, everybody. Have a great night. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Thank you for all the super chats. Thank you for the members. Thank you for watching my videos. Have a great night, and I will see you on Tuesday. Okay, bye.